Hi guys, how you doing? It's me. I just thought I'd do a video. I've not done one of these for this block, and I kind of got out of the way of doing them for the last block as well. So, um, I just thought I'd do a wee quick video because we're at the 4 week mark. Thanks for Ryan for doing the sprint this morning. I've got a pure dodgy throat or something, so I'm feeling a bit run down. Sorry for myself. So I thought do that a quick 15 minutes here. So I thought I'd quickly do a wee quick video, just to kind of cover like what you've done so far, and maybe what to practice if you're struggling with some of the things. So basically, the first thing I was going to say is obviously you're doing great so far. I think everyone attendance has been really high. Obviously, it's January, or January's just over, so it was kind of expected. So the challenge though now is, especially the new guys, is to keep coming. So that the last 4 weeks aren't for nothing, because they will be if you don't keep coming. On that note, I noticed that Saturday, this morning sprint, so Andy was a bit quieter, but again, maybe because of the venue change, it will be back to normal next week. But again, if you've been coming to sprints for a couple of weeks and you suddenly stop going, that's not going to get you anywhere. There's no point going 1 week, missing a week, going 1 week, missing a week. You come and you go consistently, and that's the same with the sessions. That's where progress happens, when you come week in, week out. Obviously, you're going to miss sessions here and there, but generally speaking, you need to come to all the sessions where possible. On that note as well, as you've noticed, there's a lot more weights being introduced this last week. That's going to continue. You need to do the warm up properly, so it's really important that you do the warm up, and you do it yourself and you do it thoroughly. Stretches, the attendance has been really good at stretches as well. I understand not everyone can stay for them, so just remember, if that's you, then you need to make time for stretches at some other point. Speaking to Angela, she basically thinks that the vast majority of the injuries that people are coming to her with are self-inflicted, i.e. it's because people aren't listening to the advice we're given. They're not bothering with the stretches or the warm up. So you really need to concentrate on getting those done. Remember, if you are doing the stretches away from the class, then you need to make sure you're warm first. So even if you go through like a wee quick 5 minute warm up before doing the stretches, because you wouldn't stretch when you're cold. Okay, so yeah, just wanted to quickly go over something. So obviously this week, towards the end of the week, you did some one-legged deadlifts. So I noticed that a lot of folk were getting a wee bit frustrated with these, which is understandable, because they can be frustrating, one-legged deadlifts, because you find that you really struggle to get any sort of depth without losing your balance. But that ultimately is the whole point in doing it. It's a stability-based strength exercise, so it's really good for working the leg, or isolating one leg at a time, and it really draws up or highlights potential weaknesses that might not be so apparent when you do sort of strength-based movements like deadlifts on 2 legs. So lifting in the gym, like big heavy lifts like deadlifts, are all well and good, particularly if all you want to do is get your numbers up and you want to enter a powerlifting competition or something like that. But when it comes to a bit more specific, or a bit more athletic-based movements, and whereby you want the numbers in the gym to carry over to outside the gym, to like running or whatever sport you play, then you need to consider like a bit more specificity towards your training, and that's where the single leg work comes in, because obviously like running and various sports require single leg strength and stability and balance, which you won't get from just the standard lifts themselves. Don't get me wrong, if you're already strong and stable, then they're maybe not as necessary, but most folk in my opinion really benefit from the single leg work, especially, and that was especially telling because there's many folk that can be quite good on 2 legs, lift pretty heavy. As soon as you go to 1 leg, it's like a rabbit caught in headlights and they're wobbling all over the place. So that's a sign of a lack of stability, which is a sign of potential lack of sort of athleticism, and it can lead to increased injury risk, and also a drop in performance with these sports. So, and equally, the aesthetic element of that too. The single leg work, like those single leg deadlifts, like put a huge emphasis on the glutes. Obviously the legs too, like the quads, but the glutes, especially the glute medius, has to work overtime to keep everything around the hips stable. So in other words, if you're finding these exercises difficult, and if you or wanting to work your bum, for example, right, then that's even more reason to do them. So not being good at them is more reason to do them. So if you're good at them, then there's less reason to do them. Okay, so don't use the fact that you find them difficult as a reason to not do them, or a reason to why you shouldn't want to do them. So with that in mind, in the house, all you should do, you could practice this in the house. So you could just do some one-legged stuff in the house. So quite simply, just just stand on one leg. You probably can't see my feet, can you? Not that it necessarily matters, but just stand on one leg and practice it. So stand on one leg, take one foot off the floor, and then just slowly start to go down. So the main things, okay, that we're looking for when you're in this one-legged position is you push the hips back and bend the knee. So you bend the knee and push the hips back at the same time, okay? While that's happening though, you need to make sure you engage your shoulders, okay? So shoulders back and down as opposed to that. So again, it's quite common, folk will sort of go down like that. So keep the shoulders back and down and just hold the position and then come back up, okay? So you can just sort of repeat that. You can just sort of do like sets of 5 or 6. Honestly, the more you do it, the better you'll get at it. Okay, so I know it'll probably feel quite frustrating at first, but it's just about practicing these movements. So you want to be stable, so you can just come down slow, go up slow, etc. So maybe do 4 or 5 sets of 6 per leg. That's probably an idea, and it will get better. So don't use the trap bars unless you're managing them, okay? Otherwise, drop the weight or even drop to body weight, like the example I just showed there. And just to, again, we're just going to quickly recap for your benefit the three main sort of movements you've done so far with the lifting, and the slight fundamental differences between them. So without further ado, right, so you've done the stiff leg deadlift, okay, so there's the bar. You've done the stiff leg deadlift. Okay, now this has been done really well, I have to say. A lot of folk are getting it bang on. So that's the position there. So there's not a lot of knee bend. All the movements come from the hips. Okay, the lower back remains the same. So it's a hip hinge. Okay, so there's the hinge. There's the hip, there's the hinge. And then all you're doing is closing the hinge. Okay, so not much, all the strain is getting taken by the hamstrings. And then you stand up. So that is the stiff leg deadlift, which you've been doing. The next one is trap bar deadlift. So there's the bar, I'm holding the bar. Okay, so this one requires a bit more knee bend. Okay, so you're pushing hips back, but the knees are bending more. So stiff leg was that. Trap bar deadlift is a bit more like that. Okay, again though the hip is above the angle of the knee. Okay, so that was the trap bar deadlift. The sumo deadlift, well, you can't really see it from the side. Probably the best way to go this way. But basically, if you remember, you were being asked to take a wider stance. Okay, so I sort of likened it to a play style stance. So I personally find that a good way is to line up the heel of your the heel of your foot, sort of in line with your shoulder arms. So nice wide stance. Okay, open up the feet to about 45 degrees. You also make sure you take a narrower grip. A lot of folk I'm noticing are taking a grip about here, and then the hands are getting in the way. The hands are hitting their knees on the way up, so it's a narrow grip. Okay, then from there you push the hips back. So initiate the movement by pushing the hips back. So lean over it a bit more. Okay, and by that point, most folk will be able to reach the bar. There's the bar over there. You just grab the bar and then stand up. So again, the main difference between all these is that the hip angle will change slightly. Okay, so as you can see, that hip angle relative to the knee is greater. Your hip is higher than it is on the trap bar deadlift. The trap bar deadlift, it comes down a bit lower, so it's a wee bit higher. And that's what I was saying to folk. It's kind of like in between a stiff leg deadlift and a trap bar deadlift in a way, in terms of the hip position. Okay, so hopefully you're starting to make sense of that. Okay, so that's the movement there. You just grab the bar. Again, make sure you're maintaining a nice flat neutral spine, and then you just stand up. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. Right. The next thing I wanted to quickly mention was, obviously we're telling folk that we want you to squeeze your glutes a lot, right? Especially as you stand up from these lifts. Same with squats. Okay, we're asking you to squeeze your glutes to lock out the movement. But one thing I've sort of had to correct a couple of times that I've been noticing is that if folk are struggling to engage their glutes, so they're not used to it, instead of squeezing their glutes, all they're actually doing is leaning back, all that really does is hyperextend the lower back, which is undesirable. So, for example, okay, so if you take folk to squeeze their glutes, some folk are doing this when they come up, they're doing that. Okay, so they're sort of pushing through. Okay, and that will become relevant with the kettlebell swings as well, so that's not, you don't do that with the kettlebells either. But so some folk are sort of, when I say squeezing through, they're sort of like leaning back, okay, and that's what not to do, okay, because that just puts excessive pressure on your lower back. So it's more to do with a pelvic tilt, okay, so here's your pelvis. So when you come up, if you imagine you squeeze your backside muscles to draw the pelvis in. Okay, so there's the pelvis there. You clench your bum, which automatically draws in here, like that, right? So from there you come up and you clench your bum to draw the pelvis in. Okay, so you don't lean back, you simply clench your glutes to draw the pelvis in to make sure that your spine is in a nice neutral position. Okay, so that's really important that you understand that. Okay, and that's one of the main reasons for this video. Squeeze your core as well. So hopefully, if you remember in the early weeks, especially when we were talking about the plank, we were asking you to do those two things. So we were asking you to squeeze your glutes to draw your pelvis forward, while at the same time engage in here, while keeping a nice neutral shoulder position. And that is because those three things in combination is exactly what you need to do when you're doing all the deadlift movements. Squeeze the glutes, draw the pelvis in, engage in here, while maintaining a nice solid upper body posture. Okay, so just bear that in mind. You shouldn't be doing that when you stand up in a deadlift. Okay, the reason folk are doing that is they're trying to overcompensate for squeezing the glutes. They think that if you just lean back, that's the difference between hyperextending your lower back and squeezing your bum. Right, so focus on that. So you shouldn't lean back. It should be very much a case of just a good old squeeze, right? So so just to quickly recap, practice one-legged deadlifts. Okay, squeeze your ass a lot. You should actually walk about like that, right? You should actually be walking. You should be standing nice and tall. They should be squeezed all the time. That should be squeezed all the time. In other words, your core should always be engaged, so you need to start consciously thinking about it. The more you consciously think about it, eventually it will just become autonomous. So, we've recapped that. We've recapped the 3 different deadlifts you've done so far. So, stiff leg, i.e. hip hinge, trap bar, and sumo, which is essentially a kind of in between of both. What we've not covered yet fully is probably the squat, which is different again. Okay, and why is it different? Because there's a much more knee flexion in it. Okay, so it's much more about coming down nice and deep. Okay, and the hip comes below the knee. So we've not really covered back squats yet because we've not done them yet. So yeah, that's the main things to consider so far amongst everything else you've done. You've done brilliant so far. It's been really enjoyable to be part of the sessions. I just think a really good buzz about them. So just remember, to make the most out of these sessions, you need to come in, you need to warm up properly yourself, you need to come in early. Every time I see someone wander in at 2 minutes past, I just think, oh, it's a bit frustrating. I know it happens sometimes, I do, but the reason it's frustrating is because it's like you're inviting injury. Okay, you're inviting injury because if your muscles aren't warmed up, you immediately start training, they're just automatically going to contract and shorten really quickly, leading to a more likelihood of injury. So it's really important. Plus, your head is not in the right space. If you just saunter through the door at 1 minute past, 2 minutes past when the session's meant to start, your head is not in the right place for a proper session. This is proper training. It's not like nipping into a class at the nice gym. Okay, that you're a member of or whatever. Not that you are because you're doing the boot camp. You know what I mean? So you need to really get in the zone. That's what I'm saying. Get in the zone for the session properly. I think that's all. Is it? Food, nutrition, okay, ask questions. I don't know if it'd be worthwhile if I did some sort of like Facebook live thing on the community page where you can ask questions and I can answer them directly with with speaking, because I just don't find the emails are the easiest way to convey information sometimes. So that is all. I think. Hope you enjoy your Saturday. Hopefully I can swallow without feeling uncomfortable soon, so that I can start talking properly again at the boot camp. So anyway, right, so yeah, that was all. Any questions about anything, just let us know. Cheers.